Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafiya wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So here we are with session number 10 for Surah Al-Hujurat and session number 285 for Quranic Arabic grammar, in which we are doing in-depth study of Nahw and Sarf of Surah Al-Hujurat. So in the last session, Alhamdulillah, we were able to go over part of ayah number 14, Alhamdulillah. So we have covered Kullam Tu'minu, and I think we have already covered Walakin Qulu Aslamna, and we were doing this part. وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. Do you all remember this part of the ayah? Alhamdulillah. Let's see the chat box. Oh, so Aisha. Okay. When you look at lamma, how many types of lamma are there? How many types of lamma have we covered? This word lamma, 2 types or 3 types, or there is a dispute, ikhtilaf in ummah, it seems like. So there are 3 types of lamma that we have covered in Quranic Arabic grammar. So the 3 types of lamma that you have gone over, if you remember, that lamma is going to be ismiya. It is going to be ismiya, shartiya, zarfiya. If it is followed by fail madin, it is going to be harf. It is going to be harf in 2 situations. Number 1 situation is if you find it before fail mudari. If you find it before fail mudari, it is going to be lamma harfiya. It is harf jazmin wa nafyin wa qalbin, and it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. If you see it with a word coming after it, neither fail madin or mudari, however, there is a fragment after it, like alayha or something like that. If it is not something, it has nothing to do with fail madin or mudari, then it is going to be used as harf hasar in the meaning of illa. Okay, so it behaves like harf hasar, and just like illa when it is istinaya. Okay, is this clear to each and every one of you? Yeah, there are 3 types of lamma, and also when I ask you now, among the 3 types, lamma in here, is it a harf or an ism? It is a harf because it was followed by fail mudari majzoom. Anytime it is followed by fail mudari, it's going to be harf. When it is followed by fail madin, it is going to be an ism. It is ismiya, shartiya, zarfiya, and it is labeled as muta'alliq bil jawab. Do you all remember that when we were learning our shart? I always call lamma, which is ismiya, shartiya, zarfiya, as muta'alliq bil jawab, right? So in here you will find muta'alliq bil fail or mafulun fihi. It is muta'alliq bil jawab, right? Falamma ada'at ma hawlahu zahaba Allahu bi nurihim. When did Allah take away their light? When it lit what is around it. Allah took away their light or their vision. Okay. No, in Quran we found only with madin. No, we have all 3 types of lamma in Quran, right? We have lamma shartiya, zarfiya, coming with fail madin. We have harf jasmin wa nafyin wa qalbin as well, like you are seeing lamma yadkhulil imana yadkhulil imanu fi qulubikum. So you are seeing the second type, and you are seeing lamma in Surah Tariq in as harf istisna, harf hasar, right? All 3 types are found. But whenever you find lamma followed by fail madin, label it as ismiya, shartiya, zarfiya, and call it muta'alliq bi jawab. Okay, it is going to be muta'alliq bi jawab, jawabu shart, because it's always shartiya. So you can just call, instead of just calling it muta'alliq bil fail, you can to be very precise, you can call it muta'alliq bil jawab, which is zahaba, right? Muta'alliq bil jawab, zahaba Allahu bi nurihim wa tarakahum fi zulumat. So in here, you can just label it either as muta'alliq bil fi'l zahaba, or to be more accurate, you can call it muta'alliq bil jawab. Okay, so this was little bit about lamma. When it comes to waw halia, you label it as waw hal, right? In the last session, you have labeled waw before lamma as waw halia, right? And then the status of the sentence after waw halia, you call it fi mahalli nasbin because it was jumlatul halia. Why is it mandatory for waw to be present before lamma when it comes to the placement of waw halia? Does it always have to be there, or there is an allowance of its presence? It can be there, it may not be there, right? You all remember that? Make sure, if anyone forgot about it, remember now that there is a permissibility for waw hal to be present before lamma. It may be there, it may not be there. Okay, I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. The next part, I think this ayah is pretty straightforward, and we have understood it as jumlatul hal fi mahalli nasbin. And the next part, wa in tuti'u Allah wa rasulahu. Now comes another sentence, and in here, what type of a sentence you are seeing? In tuti'u Allah. What is in doing? It is jumla shartiya. Very good job. And in is from your adatu shart jazima. When it comes to your adatu shart jazima, give me adatu shart jazima that can only make one fail majzoom. What are those 4 lams that are going to only make one fail mudari majzoom? Lamma, very good job. La nahiya, lam, very good job. Very good job, Rabia. Yes, lamul amr. There are 4 lams. Remember, there is lamma, there is lam, there is la nahiya, and there is lamul amr that have ability to affect only and only one fi'l mudari. Within and all the rest of adwatu shart jazima, how many of all they can make majzoom? They are called tajzamul fi'laini. They can make 2 fi'l mudari majzoom. So in here, you have in. Can in affect 2 fi'l mudari simultaneously? Can it have an effect on 2 at the same time? Absolutely yes is an answer to that. So look at the ayah and figure it out. Tuti'u is majzoom bihasfin noon liannahu minal af'alul khamsa, right? It is from af'alil khamsa, and it is majzoom bihasfin noon. Everyone got it? There is nothing new that we are learning. Waw is the damir muttasil baris, and it is fi mahalli rafa mabni ala sakun fi mahalli rafa. You have a fail and a file, and lafzul jalala Allah is going to be mafulun bihi for tuti'u. Waw harf atf. Rasulahu is rasul is matuf, and it is mansub bil atf, and who is going to be damir muttasil baris fi mahalli jar mabni ala dam fi mahalli jar bil idafa, right? That is mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. There is a mudaf and mudaf ilayhi, rasul and who are making mudaf ilayhi. When it comes to the status of an entire sentence, since it is a jumla shartiya, an entire sentence is a jumla shartiya of a adatu shart that is ghair zarfi, it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, right? La mahalla laha min al-i'rab, no i'rab for that, right? And in here, tuti'u is your felu shart majzoom. It is felu shart majzoom. This is your felu shart majzoom. Is this clear to all of you? If there was fail madin, it will be felu shart fi mahalli jasmin, right? In that case, you call it fi mahalli jasmin. The entire, when you consider the whole sentence, because this is a jumla shartiya, and the adatu shart is ghair zarfi, it is not a zarf. It is going to be considered, this whole sentence is going to be considered la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. If there is a man there, if there was a man there instead of in, there was a man there, which is also ghair zarfi, in that case, it can be fi mahalli rafin khabar, right? In that case, you can consider it fi mahalli rafin khabar. If it was, if it was something like ainama, if it was something like haisuma, if it was something like anna, if it was something like um, what is it called? Think about the ones that are adatu jazima. I want you to think about them, and let's just, I think I have somewhere in these adatu. So think about mata, ayana, anna, aina, ainama. So the whole sentence, I'm not talking about felu shart. I'm talking about the whole sentence. What should be the status of the sentence that is coming after mata, yana, anna, aina, ainama? It should be jar in status. Very good job. Very good job. The whole sentence should be jar in status. What will be the status? What, in which status you will find your fail mudare in after these adatu shart? If the fail mudare follows mata, yana, anna, aina, ainama, what will be the status? Failu shart. Is it going to be rough in status? After ainama, it is jasmine status, as Shaheen is saying. Shaheen is saying that this is because these are the adwatu shart that are tajzimul failaini, right? They make mudare majzoom. I'm trying to this. Let me see. Let me see this one. Copy and let me show you something and make sure that you understand this. Okay. Okay. Ainama tuwallu fasamma wajhullahi. So here, ainama tuwallu, the fail mudare is, when it comes to the status of fail mudare, it is, what is the status of fail mudare? It is majzoom bi hasfin noon, right? When it comes to when you have to connect it to what ainama, when you have to connect it to ainama, and if there were think about it, that there were more than just think about let's see this one, because there is nothing attached to it. So this one is a better example to understand. Okay, so this one, ainama yuwajjihu. So there is a fail mudari majzoom, and then there is an attached pronoun, right? So fail mudari is majzoom because of ainama. Okay, but if I ask you what will be the status of yuwajjihu, what will be the status of this sentence? Considering your adatu shart is ainama, you are going to say fi mahalli jarrin, fi mahalli jarrin mudaf ilayhi, fi mahalli jarrin mudaf ilayhi, right? And if I ask you what will be the i'rab of ainama, what will be the i'rab of ainama, as sister Diba has written, it is going to be muta'alliq bil jawab. You can just call it muta'alliq bil jawab, right? Are you getting the point, that where you have, why we sometimes are talking about that the sentence that is coming after in is la mahalla laha min al i'rab? Do you get my point? I'm particularly asking those that who have done quite a bit of grammar, and because they're too, there is one thing is that your mudare is majzoom, one thing is the status of entire sentence. When it comes to status of an entire sentence, if your adatu shart is ghair zarfi, it cannot be fi mahalli jar, it is going to be la mahalla laha min al i'rab, right? When it comes to your, now you have your adatu shart, you have your jumlatu shart, and you have your jawabu shart, right? Where is jawabu shart? Your jawabu shart is la yalitkum min amalikum shay'a. So in here, this sentence, beginning with la is going to start your jawab, right? What will be the status of just jawabu shart? Why is it la mahalla laha min al-i'rab? And that is the correct answer. Why do we call it la mahalla laha min al-i'rab? And that is the correct answer. No fa. Very good job. There is no fa, no izafu jaya. Call it la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. What made yelitkum? What is the status of yelitkum? What will be the status of yelit? It is majzoom. It is majzoom. And what made it majzoom? No, it is not majzoom bila. It is majzoom because of in the beginning, because in can affect two mudare, right? It can affect two mudare simultaneously. So it not only made tutiyu majzoom, but it also ended up making yelit majzoom bisakun, right? Everyone got it? That how Yulit is majzoom? It is majzoom because of in. And that is the whole reason that I keep on revising everything so that you go back to the basic, okay? Because first of all, it is very important that we know our basic grammar. And we when we touch upon the basic concepts, it's always important that, it's always going to be helpful for us to understand anything. Yes, Rabia. Yeah, now you know your answers, right? That it is that Jimul Fa'ilaini. So first fail it was Tuti'u, second fail was Yilit, and this la is La Nafia. You are going to just call it La Nafia. Any confusion about this? Everyone got it? Alhamdulillah. Then Yilitkum is Yilitkum is Huwa Yilitkum. And Kaf is going to be your attached pronoun, which is the Mil Muttasil. It is mabni ala dam fi muhalli nasbin mafulun bihi. Meme again is your meme uljama for masculine plural, or li jama zukur. Min amalikum shay'a. Min amalikum shay'a. And I'm very sad that I did not something here. I think I may have, but so min amalikum jar wal majroor, right? Jar wal majroor. And amalikum is an idafa as well. Very good job. And shay'an, there is an okay. So sama min amalikum can be muta'alliq bil fi'l yalitkum. But is there any way we can relate it to shay'an? Is there a way to relate it to shay'an by any chance? Can you connect it to shay'an? Because I think I worked on it because when I was doing my Arab, and then I confirmed it as well. So let me show you how I did it. One second. But I forgot to add something. So no, it cannot be Mosuf Sifa. No, the 1 second here. Okay, let's see here. 1 second. I want you to see one thing. You have covered in your Surah Ar-Rahman something that was very interesting. I have taught you in there something very interesting, and I don't want you to miss that. Ishtighal, no, it was something, so Shayan is your commonism, right? So Shayan is the commonism, and there is something coming before it, which is jar wal majroor, right? Either you can call jar wal majroor mutaliq bi mahzuf sifa, right? Mutaliq bi mahzuf sifa, or mutaliq bi hal as well. So when you call it, and which one? I think this is the one. Is my slide? No, this is not the one. 1 second. Here it is not this one. Let's see. Okay, so one you, if I call this min amalikum hal for shay'an, what is the problem with that? If I call it hal for shay'an, if I want to label it, because I labeled it as a hal for shay'an, what is the problem with that? What is your sahibul hal? Your sahibul hal in here is shay'an, right? It is common, right? It is common. That's a problem. But do you remember? Did we ever cover when we were covering our Surah Ar-Rahman that there are cases There are cases when it is permissible for your hal, for sahibul hal to be common, and there were six of them. And from the cases in here, you can say that when hal is before sahibul hal, it is permissible for sahibul hal to be common, right? It is allowed for it to be common. Does it make sense? Does it make sense that shay'an is permissible for it? It is permissible for it to be common because its hal has come before it. In this case, you can just call it, it is, and think about it more, okay? Because there are many examples of that you will find that there is a jar wal majroor that is very much related to communism that is coming after. So don't call that in that case nath. Consider it your muta'alliq bihal mahzufa muqaddama. Okay, does this term make sense to you all, that your muta'alliq bihal has come before your sahibul hal? Muqaddama means it is before, right? Before my sahibul hal. And this is the allowance, and this is allowing the permissibility. This is allowing the sahibul hal to be common as well. I hope I made myself clear on that. If I have not, let me know now. Are you with me so far, everyone? Alhamdulillah. Okay. So you can, this jar wal majroor can be muta'alliq bil hal, shay'a, and I hope now you all understand that shay'a, you can label it as your maful bihi, and why there's a permissibility for that. You can go over all the reasons for that. There are 6 reasons for that in here, which is working for me is that because my sahibul hal was coming after my hal, so it is okay for my hal to be common. Okay, inshallah. Then the next part of the ayah is, so this whole thing, this whole sentence, which is jawabu shart, is your is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, because there is no fa, there is no idafu jayya in the beginning of the sentence. And then comes inna allaha ghafurun rahimun. Inna allaha harf nasb wa ismuha. Inna is should be everyone by this time. By this time, everyone should know what are the 4 different ways, not different ways, they are the same thing, but there are 4 labelings for inna. Anytime you see inna, there are 4 labels for that. One is that it is harf nasb, right? Everyone knows that, right? Then it is nasb wa tawkid mushabba bil fail, and it is also there is one more. You call it nawasikhul mubtada, right? It is nasikh. Very good job, Sister Zarina. All 4 should be, on your tips now. The purpose of asking you these again and again and again and again is, one day you will know why I repeat so much, inshallah, when you will run your own classes. And if you are running your own classes, you already know why it is so very important to repeat and keep practicing, inshallah. So Ghafurun is going to be your khabar 1 and Rahimun is going to be your khabar 2. So this was your ayah number 14. In ayah number 14, the most important learning points from this ayah that I consider for myself is starting from Al-Arabu. I went over my Ism Jins Jami'i. I went over my Taskirul Fail wa Tanisul Fail, right? I should be able to revise all my taskir wa tanisul fail, that what are the cases when there is a gender mismatch allowed. Then the next part that we have covered was the types of lamma. Then we covered how there are certain adatu shart jazima as well, and after which not only fail is majzoom, but the jumla failure is considered fi mahalli jar. But if adatu shart has nothing to do with zarf, your jumla shartiya can never be called fi mahalli jar mudaf ilayhi, because in that case it is only going to be considered la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Your jawab is always going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab if it does not have fa or izafu jayya. The last sentence, and which in here I will like to label it as jumlatul istinafiya, and if the jumla is istinafiya, is starting a new topic, we always treat it as la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. So this was ayah number 14, and then comes your ayah number 15 and 16, and let's see if inshallah we are going to go over the word to word real quick. I'm not going to take much time on that. So very easy ayah. Innamal mu'minuna allazina amanu billahi wa rasulihi. Innama, indeed only, al mu'minuna, the believers, allazina are those who amanu, they have believed, billahi, in Allah, wa rasulihi, and his messenger. Summa lam yartabu, then lam, did not, yartabu, they doubt, wajahadu, and they struggle, they strove, bi amwalihim, with their wealth, wa anfusihim, and their selves, fi sabilillahi, in the way of Allah, ulaika, those whom they, as-sadiqun, are those who are truthful. Running translation says the believers are the ones who have believed in Allah and his messenger, and then doubt not but strive with their properties and their lives in the cause of Allah. I think everything is very self explanatory, very simple, and I think everyone must have gotten the gist of the ayah and understood the intent, I hope. So it starts with innama grammatically. So innama, how many parts are there when it comes to innama? There are two parts of innama. You can divide it into two. And when it comes to inna with ma, there are two options, right? Ma can be a harf, ma can be is a mausul. In here, what type of ma is there? Is it is a mausul or it is harf, kafa? It is harf, kafa. When it is harf, kafa, it is zaida, right? It is zaida. The purpose is hasar, indeed only. You translate it as indeed only. So there is a purpose is hasar, ma, al kafa, zaida is harf, la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Inna la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Any harf every time is going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Can ma zaida, ma that is zaida, can it be ghair kafa as well? Can ma, which is zaida, this ma is zaida, kafa, but can ma zaida be ghair kafa? Yes, you can have ma that is a ghair kafa. Is there any harf nasb that is going to be able to take ma, which is zaida, but is ghair kafa? Among the six, is there anyone among the huruf nasiba that can take let me see, let me go here. It's going to so there, let me show you one something here, very interesting. I think you will find. Very good job, Shamim. You are so smart, mashallah, tabarakallah. Okay, let's see. For okay, when I gave you the notes on ma zaida kafa, I if I start something in your notes, you will find when you will go over your slides, and barakallahu fiki for remembering this. When it attaches to laita, can be kafa or ghair kafa. With laita, it can be both. So for every one of you, remember the ma zaida kafa, when it is with haruf nasiba, there is one harf nasiba, which is laita. With laita, it can be kafa and it can be ghair kafa. If it is laita and ma is a ghair kafa, what will be the status of ism coming after ma? What will be the status of an ism coming after ma? If it is ghair kafa, if it is not blocking an action, it is going to be nasb status. Very good job. Very good job. Very well done. So few things. I don't know if it increases your iman, if it gives a boost to your iman, going over these fine subtle details in Arab, but I think it makes your mind work very much. It is definitely something that enhances and keeps you connected to the word of Allah, and you spend a lot of time understanding it. I think it may not be very iman boosting practice, but definitely it is something that keeps you away from a lot of stuff that that is really love, that is, yeah. And yes, it does definitely give you a better understanding when you are coming across any Arabic text, though laytama has not been seen, but it's going to give you an immediate understanding that why am I seeing this ism nasbin status after laytama, because ma can be kafa or ghair kafa, both after later. So this was a little bit about this ma business, and so you have understood it's harf hasar, and then you have to, you find what is coming after it. This is al mu'minuna al lazina. So in here you are going to call al mu'minuna, you will label it as jumla ismi, right? Jumla ismiya al mu'minuna is going to become your mubtada. If I ask you, what is the sign of rough status of mubtada? Because mubtada is only going to be rough in status, right? You have covered it with me. Is it, what is the sign of rough status in here? The wow? Nay, nay, nay. Wow. Call wow as a sign of rough status. Noon is a sign of rough status of a fail, which is of alul khamsa, right? Remember that. Noon is a sign of rough status of alul khamsa. It is only going to be the sign of rough status of afalul khamsa. It's not going to be sign of rough status of an ism, right? Do you all remember that? That nunul i'rab or nunul rafa is only found in afalul khamsa. It is not found in ism, right? And I just I tested my basic class about on this, because somebody wrote that, something like either noon or wow noon something. So I wanted to make sure that they know that if they have to pick one letter, it should be vowel jama. Okay. Noon is coming from, where is noon coming from? If anyone can tell me, who is the master of noonat of Quran? Very good job. It's coming from Tari. I will give it to you. I have my classes finishing in 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Abhi nahi de sakte. So noon is coming from the tanween. Very good job, right? So everyone is clear on about it, that noon is coming from the tanween, which was present in mu'minun, word mu'minun, or word mu'minan, or mu'minin. Noon has nothing to do with the status. It is waw, which is a sign of rough status in an ism. So this is your mubtada marfu bil waw li'annahu ism jama muzakkar salim, and then comes alladhina. It is alladhina is going to be your khabar fi mahali rafa. It's a mawsool, and when I've seen in your homework, some people are so good, they have written it's a mawsool mukhtassa. Very good job. And I was, going through some of the homeworks, and I really liked it, that how some people are so, mashallah, good with that whatever they're being taught, they apply it as well in their, in their homeworks and in their assignments. And it was labeled as Ism Mawsool Mukhtasa. Very good job. So to all of those who have done that, I don't remember the names of them, or those students, but barakallahu fikum. So Al-Lazina is a Mawsool Mukhtasa, gender and number specific, and this is going to be your khabar, and khabar in this case is a mufrad ism, and with ism mawsool comes silatul mawsool, and sila is your jumla fi'liya, fi'l madin, and in here fi'l madin is mabni al-dam and litisalahu bi waw. There is a waw attached to it. There is a waw attached to it, and this waw is called waw al-jama'a. And then comes your alif, that is there, written in written after after every vowel jama'a in rasam, and it is for tafriq. And then comes your this jumla fi'liya fi'l madin is going to be considered la muhalla laha min al-i'rab. La muhalla laha min al-i'rab, like any silatul mawsul is considered. And amanu billahi is jar wal majroor. It is muta'alliq bil fi'l. Wa rasuli waw atf, rasul is majroor bil atf, right? He is going to be majroor bil idafa. Everyone is getting these terms. Are they feeling more comfortable when I say majroor bil atf, majroor bil idafa, right? So rasul majroor bil atf, because of atf, this is majroor, and he is damir muttasil majroor bil idafa. Then comes summa. Summa is your harf atf, and it is connecting one sentence to another sentence. So lam is going to be harf nafyin wa jazmin wa qalbin, right? And summa is for tarahi. Very good job, Fashabi. And it's not just atf, but this is for tarahi too. Very good job. Very proud of you. Lam is nafyin wa jazmin wa qalbin, and after that you are seeing a fil mudari majzoom bi hasbin noon, because it is from afalul khamsa. Waw al jama is the mir muttasil, is a doer, right? It is a doer. Then comes another waw. This waw is harf atf. Waw of yartabu is the damir, which is fi mahali rafa fa'il, right? After waw comes another sentence. Jahadu. Jahadu is fail madin, right? It is mabni. Fail madin is always mabni, right? And waw is the mir muttasil, and it is fi mahali rafa fa'il. Everyone got it so far? Bi amwalihim. Jar wal majroor. متعلق بالفعل جاهدوا وأنفسهم. واو أتف أنفسي. How will I label أنفسي? How should be a label? أنفسي is an idafa. What else is أنفسي? It is, why is it jar in status? Who can tell me? It is matuf. It is, you are going to say that أنفسي is matuf, and it is majroor bil atf. Anfusi is also a mudaf, right? It is a mudaf as well. It's mudaf ilayhi. If you have to pick a one letter from its mudaf ilayhi, what will be it? Give me one letter, which is exactly haul ghaib. Haul ghaib is the mudaf ilayhi. And what is the purpose of meme? Very good job, Deepa. What is the purpose of meme? What is meme doing here? It is telling you it is lijamai zukur. Very good job. And it is a harf, right? So fi sabili is going to be jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil fail. Sabilillahi is going to be in idafa, right? Everyone is with me so far? So this ends the khabar for the whole thing. And how are we connecting the sentences? If I give you this sentence, lam yartabu, and you must have found it like that, what will be the status of this sentence? Lam yartabu. You are calling summa harfat. You are connecting this sentence with the sentence before, which was amanu. The status of amanu was la muhalla, right? Because it is sila. So the status of lam yartabu should be also la muhalla laha min al i'rab. What made it la muhalla? Why are we calling because it is matuf. Very good job, Rabia. Very good job, because it is going to be labeled la mahalla laha min al-i'rab bil atf. Very good job. Wajahadu, the same thing, right? It is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab bil atf, right? Because of atf, it is going to be, because the sentence before was la mahalla, so it is also la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. And then comes this small chunk. Some may label it as istinaf. But if you were a very beginner student, what could have been the labeling for this jumla ismiya? And how could you have connected it to the rest of the sentence before, the rest of the ayah before? If you were in the beginning of your grammar journey, what was one way? Um, no, not exactly hal. Um, yeah, that can be. Give me some other way how you can connect it to whatever has been talil. Okay, mu'minin, because they are the truthful one. Okay, yeah. So istinaf is, for, usually as advanced students like Shaheen can, label it as istinaf on the first go. But Shaheen, think about when you started your grammar journey. When you started your grammar journey. So how would you? Very good job, Rabia. This is what I was looking for. This, see here. إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا. So itarad, many people don't even know what itarad is. Beginners, how many beginners know that this is itarad? Think about it. They don't know. Says Reena, Alhamdulillah, you are so good in picking jumla itaradiya. But beginners don't know how to pick jumla itiradiyya. Yes, it can. If you are a beginner student, you will label it as khabar too. You will just get this jumla is as a khabar too for al mu'minuna. One is the fact that those are those who are believed, and they did not have any doubt, and they have no doubts, and they also struggle with they strove with their wells and themselves in the way of Allah. And the next hour is those are the truthful ones. Those are really the truthful ones who remain truthful. But you will find in that case, if you treat it as khabar, this is going to be fi mahali rafin, but you will find that it's mostly going to be treated as istinaf. And if it is istinaf, it is going to be called la mahalla laha min al i'rab, that you all know, alhamdulillah, right? So I think it's always very, very important to think from a mind of someone who is just starting. So sometimes it really helps, it sometimes really helps and put things in perspective, and also, help us, sometimes we are overthinking about stuff too. And it's important to, take a step back and see, but what have I done if I was in the beginning of my journey? How would I have labeled it? So mostly, you would have labeled it as khabar too. So, but it's usually you will find it being treated as jumla istinafiya la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Okay, I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Ulaika is mubtada. Ulai is one word, and ka is in the kaf in ulaika. What have we learned about kaf in ulaika? Is it an ism or a fail or a harf? What is ka? Ulaika. It is a harf. It is a harf hitab. At any time you have a kaf coming with ism ishara, it is going to be treated as harf khitab. Harf khitab la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Hum is going to be treated as, if you are treating it as the mirul fasal, if you call it the mirul fasal, what is going to be the i'rab of the mirul fasal? It is going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. If you treat it as mubtada, then it is going to be rafin status, and as-sadiquna is going to be the khabar of that mubtada, and humus sadiquna is going to be khabru mubtada ulaika fi mahali rafin. But most of the time you will see this one being treated as the mirul fasal, and the mirul fasal is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Easy? You have understood it both ways, everyone? Okay, and again, as-sadiquna is an ism which is marfu, and the sign of raf status in this word is wow, right? Do not call noon as a sign of rough status. The wow is there, which is the sign of rough status in this word as-sadiquna. The next ayah, قُلْ أَتُؤَلِّمُونَ اللَّهَ بِدِينِكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَاللَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. So let's see the ayah, the word to word, real quick. So very easy ayah, but the word to word says, Qul, you say, Atu'allimuna, do you all inform / teach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bidinikum, about your religion, wallahu, while Allah ya'lamu, he knows, ma, what, fis samawati is in the skies, wa ma, and what, fil ardi is in the earth, wallahu, and Allah, bikulli, of every, shay'in, thing, alimun, ever known. Easy? Now come back to the ayah and let's do the i'rab of the ayah. Kul is going to be labeled as Failul Amr, as Fashabi already has written. And in this Failul Amr, who is the file? Who is the, because every fail is going to have a file when it is when it comes to Failul Amr, it's going to always have a file. And when the file is anta, when it is anta Failul Amr, in that case the mir is always mustatir. It is wajib for it to be mustatir, right? So it is the mir mustatir anta. A is going to be a harf, and harf is always la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, right? And a is a very special word which we have recently covered, so I don't think we need to go into the intricacies of the word. You have covered it as harf istifham, very special harf istifham, which is used for tasdeeq, which is used for tasawwur, right? When it can enter shart, it can enter inna sentences, it can be omitted. It is used, very much used in Quran for rhetorical question. And in here, the purpose is inkar, atuallimun Allah, right? What is the intent among the different purposes of a question? When you look at the slide, this is istifham. This can be considered istifham inkari. For tabikh wa ta'ajjub, tu'allimuna is going to be fi'l mudari, marfu bi thubutin noon, waw is a file, and Allah is going to be mafulun bihi, bidinikum, bidini jar wal majroor, dinikum is an idafa, dini mudaf, kaf full khitab, majroor bil idafa, and meme in this word is going to be considered a harf which has no i'rab, and it is for masculine plural li jamai zukur. Wallahu ya'lamu, wallahu ya'lamu, wow. To keep things easy and simple and mm, easy to easily comprehensible, you can treat it as vowel halia. Very good job. And Allahu is going to be mubtada. Ya'lamu is going to be the khabar of this mubtada. Ya'lamu is fail mudari marfu with damatu zahira. And in here, the mir mustatir huwa is the file, and it is going back to lafzul jalala. Ma is going to be your ism mausul. Ma is ism mausul mafulun bihi fis samawati jar wal majrur mutaliq bi sila mahzufa. Waw is going to be atf. Ma is going to be mansoob. And what is going to make this ma mansoob? It is mansoob bil atf, right? And fil ardi is going to be again jar wal majrur mutaliq bi sila mahzufa. Any confusion about this? Always remember, if you have ma followed by jar wal majroor like this, you must start to think about ma mausula, right? Because it's going to be jar wal majroor is going to be mostly labeled as mutaliq bi sila mahzufa, and you have covered that your sila can be jumla, your sila can be jumla ismiya, jumla felia, and can be shubhu jumla. Then comes the last part of the ayah. Wallahu bi kulli shay'in alim. Wallahu. Here, how will you label this bow? Okay, you want to call it istina. Okay. Everyone agrees with Sister Aisha. You want to call it istina also? Okay, Fashabi and Aisha are saying so. Let's just take a poll. So it's istina, right? I for istina. Nadia is saying she wants to treat it as ataf and want to connect it with whatever has been wallahu ya'lamu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. If she treats it as an ataf, what will be the status of jumla ismiya coming after waw? What will be the status of jumla ismiya coming after waw? It is going to be nasb bil atf, right? Because Allahu ya'lamu was mansoob because of waw halia. Waw halia, we treated first waw as halia, so it was fi mahalli nasbin. So Allahu bi kulli shay'in alim is going to be if you treat waw as atf, it's going to be mansoob bil atf fi mahalli nasbin bil atf. If you treat it as another waw hal, it's also going to be considered as fi mahalli nasbin because of waw halia. If you treat it as isti'naf, what will happen to the sentence coming after waw? Then it's going to become la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Quran for tafakkur wa tadabbur, right? You notice how different teachers have different ways to label these vows and these fas sometimes. For the and usually it is when the sentences are getting connected. They usually don't have difference of opinions for most of the era. For most era, there is usually a unified opinion, and there may be two schools of thought, or something like that. Usually two schools of thought. But when it comes to waw and fa, and there's different sentences coming after these at, there are different ways how they connect them. So I don't see any problem with that now, that because everyone has a different way of connecting things. Something struck them in a certain scholar in a certain way, and he may have treated it as atf, and some may have treated it as hal, because he is thinking that he knows about the skies and the earth, because he is the one who is always aware of everything. Why he's in the state, it's always his state that he's always aware of everything. So whatever works for you and whatever makes more sense, as long as you're able to understand what Allah is trying to tell you, it's going to be, may Allah forgive our mistakes, but it's okay. So we are almost and at the end of the time, class time. What I will want you to request you to do for the upcoming session is that we only have 2 ayahs left, right? You all realize that we are left with only the 2 ayahs of Surah Al-Hujurat. This beautiful surah is coming to an end, and almost our journey is almost also seems to be coming to an end too. But what I would like you to do is I'm going to send you all the words, for advanced surf, and kindly volunteer in WhatsApp group if you want to you know do the surf of those words. Like, if I give you a word ittaqu, what has happened to ittaqu? I would expect you to tell me the whole, what was the original form of the word, how a word got changed into ittaqu, because it was not originally ittaqu, right? There's wow, kaf, ya are the root letters, and you have to tell me what happened to the ya and everything, right? So inshallah, I will explain it to you in the group, and you can come up with your answers and everything, inshallah. Inshallah. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.